Hi all, this is Dr. J at 11, streaming to you live from Long Island, New York on a beautiful Saturday afternoon where the weather is probably in the low 30s, but it feels really nice and sunny out there. Yesterday was another beautiful day and Wall Street celebrated. Wall Street had a lot to celebrate, in particular the end of the government shutdown, which I think that announcement came around the middle of the day sometime. Thank the Lord. Thank God. Thank Pelosi. Thank Trump. We needed to end this. All right. The market is happy. I'm happy. Government workers are happy. Air traffic controllers are happy. TSA is happy. Everybody's happy. I mean, it was getting to be really, really draining on federal workers. Anyway, stock market celebrated on Friday, up about 180 points a Dow, about 0.75%. The other three stocks that we covered yesterday, we're going to cover again today. And that includes athersys. Well, athersys we covered Wednesday, but we're going to cover athersys, the djia, Amazon.com, and Apple. Now, the main stock that I'm really getting excited about of those four is athersys. I'm also getting excited about Apple. I told you yesterday I was going to buy some more. I started a position again in Apple on Thursday and was going to add on Friday, which I did. By the way, I did do a market wrap last night. It took me a half an hour to do it. It was a 25-minute video, and it was impossible to keep it because of very poor production quality. Most of the video was blank, and even the parts that weren't were not clear. So I'm hoping that today is better. Today is another day. I called Verizon once again. They said there's nothing they can do. I don't believe that. Maybe I believe that. In any event, for now, I'm trying to make do with the camera that I have, the computer that I have, the internet provider that I have, and I'm hoping that my wonderful content will trump, I hate that word, will trump the production problems, and you guys will stick with me through thick and through thin. Eventually, we'll get there. Anyway, the Dow has been fabulous the last few weeks after reaching new lows. I mean, reaching its counter-trend low at about 21 and change, 21,000 and change. It's run up to I'm not sure exactly where it stands now. We're going to look together, close to 25,000. Very nice run. Amazon.com made a nice run from the 1400s where I bought it. It's sitting, I think, at about 1660 now. And Apple, I did take a small loss on my Apple, coming back in now, averaging in, and so far so good. I do think athersys is the most exciting little biotech right now. I own a ton of it. And it's been moving up through resistance quite easily, as illustrated yesterday, with a 16-cent range from a high of 77 to a low of 61, I think. So we're going to take a look at athersys. Athersys, of course, has a multi-stem product, which is being used for stroke trials in Japan. We're going to talk more about athersys, show the chart of the Dow Jones, show the chart of Amazon, show the chart of Apple, and hopefully do it in a lot quicker than 25 minutes. As always, do your own due diligence. Remember, my opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. Occasionally, Dr. J has great ideas, occasionally some clunkers. It's your job to differentiate the great ideas from the clunkers. That's why you need to do your own due diligence. All right, let's get to the video charts. Of course, I'm going to ask you to subscribe. There'll be a little G at the end of the video. There's a subscribe button to below this video on the right-hand side. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I give you guys thumbs up all the time when I reply to you, don't I? And share the link. And what else? Write comments. Give me ideas of what to chart, what to look at, what to investigate. I always appreciate that. Or give me commentary, whatever you like. So consider this vlog like your own. Feel free to write in whatever comments you like, and I'll respond, I promise. Okay, let's go to the video charts. I'm going to do share screen. And it worked, which is a good sign, but it worked yesterday and I still had troubles. Dow Jones Industrial Average first. The Dow closed at 24,737, up 183, or 0.75%. Let's look at the full screen of the chart. It's continuing to follow its upper trend line. In fact, it's peeling off from it now. Very nice move. However, it was checked right at resistance at about, I think I put resistance at about the low of this candle at 11:15, right around the 24.8, 24.787, 24.750 mark, something like that. So it closed at 24.737, a little bit below, let's see, the high today, 24.860. That would be about resistance, 24.860. This line, whatever that is, 24.860, I guess. The low here is 24.832. In that area, 830 to 860, something like that. So we're moving on up in the Dow, but my gut feeling tells me that we may make another little run at that resistance level, bounce down to the ascending trend line again at the very least, and possibly even test the 24,216 level. So we might come down to the 50-day moving average at about 24,250 by the time it hits it. So I see maybe as much as a 500-point pullback, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something along those lines. And I think we end the week strong. So for the entire week, my projection would be maybe a doji, or maybe we go through this resistance to about 25,000. So even though I think we could have a 500-point sell-off, I think we will rally back very, very strong. Monday is tricky with the government's shutdown ending. Maybe the morning opens up nice, and then we pull back. I do think the pullback is overdue. I think it'll be a sharp one, about 500 points. The biggest pullback we had, I think, was about 300 points on 122. And we actually had a larger one, but that was on 1.3. So we've only had 2 real pullback days out of the last, I don't know, since the 25th of December. So for the last month, we've only had really 2 rotten days. I think we're due for a few more rotten days. We've had doji, doji, doji. And the last doji resembles a gravestone doji. Look what happened the last time we had a doji. Gravestone doji started us off on 10.3 on this huge downturn all the way to 21, what was the low? 21,712. So I'm a little scared of dojis, but the good news is this isn't a clear-cut doji. There's a little bit more green than a straight line. So the open is less than the close by a little bit here. The open was 24,687. The close 24,737, about 50 points. Close enough maybe to be called a doji because of the gigantic moves we've had prior to this candle. So you could say doji, 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 a lot of indecision, a lot of tug of war. So I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we see a little pop, pull back, maybe even get another doji, pull back maybe even to this trend line at about 24.6. And then maybe the next day sell off another 200, 300, 400 points and bounce off of 24,278. I know I'm telling a big story and it could be nothing like what I'm telling, but this is how I see it. So I'm going to tell it as I see it. Apple, we had the best day of the three of these. Amazon, Apple, and Dow Jones. Apple was up 3%. Very, very nice pop, over $5, 157.76. I added some shares in the middle of the day at a lower level. I actually opened the position on Thursday. I probably will keep buying. I expect, just like the Dow, Apple to pull back a little bit, maybe start the day up and then pull back. I see a little bit of a pullback for Apple as well. Apple could pull back to near the lows that it set on the low today on 123, which was 150, 170. I could see it shedding to 152, something like that. So maybe the 5 points that it gained, it'll give back, or maybe even more than that, maybe all the way down to this support line at 150. If so, I probably will be a buyer. Below 150, I'm not a buyer anymore. I wanted to hold that support level. Amazon.com. Amazon.com was up 1% or 15.64 on the day. 1670.57 is where we're sitting. That's several hundred points above where I entered my swing trade. I still have most of that position left. Looking to looking to close that position at 100 points higher than where we are. That's where I'm looking to close it. In the meanwhile, Amazon also found its resistance up here at about 117.16 and bounced down to a low on 123 of 1612. Had a little bounce back the last 2 days, but I suspect it comes back down one more time, maybe to the 50-day, just like I think Apple and the Dow will do. So I figure 1600 or so could be tested on Amazon.com. And athersys, finally, this is a raison d'etre for doing my entire market wrap this weekend, because athersys has been on the move, and I like when athersys is on the move. It makes me feel richer. Okay, let's take a look at athersys. It is a company with lots of potential, a great CEO in Gil Van Brocklin, a partnership with a Japanese company in a clinical trial that I believe has got tremendously favorable odds of succeeding. So 2020 should be the year that the PMDA grants approval to multi-stem, in my opinion. And other markets will open up: the European Union, United States of America, China. Athersys CEO Gil Van Brocklin is talking about starting a trial in the US, a master's trial. I don't know exactly when it's scheduled. We had great results on Wednesday on an odds trial. I talked about that. Acute respiratory disease syndrome. That sent the stock zooming on 123 from a low of 152. Wait a a second. Yes, low of 152 to a high of 169, a close at 159. And it had recently been as low as, let's see, about 139, I believe, 136. So the low right here is 136. So athersys was trading between 136 and let's say 150. We broke through that on Wednesday. And it looks like we did put in a double bottom between 1224 and the low on 118, which was 138. So the double bottom is 136, 138. And it looks to me like we're going to test resistance at about the 180 level. We came just shy of that yesterday. I think we test that 180 level. Maybe we go through it a little bit and then bounce back down to retest this support level at 165. And then one big move that takes us back into this long trading range between 185 and 215 with an ultimate assault on 215 down the road. So I'm very high on athersys. I think it's very attainable to come back to this trading range of between 180, 185 and 215. So athersys, keep an eye on athersys. Of course, yesterday I said keep an eye on SESN, Sesson Biotech, trying to feature a different biotech every day. But this weekend, I'm going to do my special biotechnology report. I'm going to talk about a dozen biotech stocks that I follow, maybe in two parts, part one, part two. Also, I want to do a special on pot stocks, Kronos, Tilray, ACB, at least those three. So this has been Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York. Great to see you. Hope my video quality was clearer today. And don't forget to subscribe. Hover your cursor over the G, wherever it may be. And I'll see you all later on my biotech special report. I want to say shalom, sayonara, hasta la vista, arrivederci, au revoir, ciao.